states, neither the FCC nor any state shall have authority to regulate the rates, charges, terms, or conditions for any high-speed data service. Toes and Dingle will turn the four-bell giants loose on America and then prohibit the FCC and all 50 states from protecting us. So, this is why our parents told us to read the fine print.
Just listen to my voice.
On September 28th,
look in my eyes.
On this quiet street, a stranger will arrive and pass his power to another. From the author of The Green Mile,
find the Queen of Hearts,
and the director of Shine,
tell me what you see.
This one here.
Anthony Hopkins.
Hearts in Atlantis. Rated PG-13. Sneak preview September 15th. Starts September 28th.
Nearly 50 years ago, entertainer Harry Belafonte embarked on an extraordinary project. He set out to research and record the music of black Americans from the period of their earliest arrival in the New World in the 17th century up through the spirituals, blues, and folk music of the early 20th century. The work was completed 30 years ago, but it's only now that music lovers can enjoy this collection of songs. It's called The Long Road to Freedom, an anthology of black music. Belafonte was principal producer and one of many artists featured on this 80 song box set.
Well, it's free grace, my loving sister, free grace, I'm newborn again. All right now, gather round the rails, boys. Turn that rail to your stomach, head high, throw it away. Whoa, white man, he called me lazy. Well, like me, he soon go crazy. White man, get me all the time.
Hey, get off the counter.
The Heartburn Hotel. If you suffer persistent heartburn 2 days a week or more, despite diet change and treatment, it may be acid reflux disease. Prescription Prevacid can mean 24-hour relief from acid reflux disease. Prevacid turns off tiny pumps that produce acid. It has a low occurrence of side effects, such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. Ask your doctor if Prevacid is right for you.
So leave your heartburn behind, yeah!
Worried about unexpected bills or mounting credit card debt? Log on to Ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIXED and apply for a second mortgage with Ditech's no closing cost option. With a second mortgage, you may be able to consolidate your high interest debts into one low monthly payment. It's smart money from Ditech.com. Apply online or call us at 1-800-71-FIXED right now.
My daughter has this guy friend. He's a pizza fanatic. He loves Stouffer's French bread pizza. Hot off the plate and crunch. All that cheese and pepperoni, you should see this guy eat.
Listen, they don't want you to know what really happens when you chew that extra polarized gum. It really messes with you, man. Look what it did to my little sister.
Don't do no extra polar ice.
Give me that.
There, but it's a marketing age, and I think many ethical questions are raised
absolutely.
by marketing.
We'll see what happens now. 8:40 right now. Well, coming up, it may not be the same old baby face that you're used to. We're going to talk with the singer, songwriter, producer about his new look and sounds that's ahead.
Then, how do you stump the future Mrs. America? Give her a pop quiz. What happened when some pageant hopefuls were put on the spot? Coming up, Holly.
Clark, hold on. Excuse me, do you know what time it is?
Time for you to give me your number.
I guess that means it didn't work. Hey, listen, the Love Cruise set sail tonight, so we thought it'd be fun to hang out with some singles. Right now, we're getting lines that work.
I know you from somewhere.
Here's a move that usually works on a young lady. Here's my number. I'd love you to call me sometime.
Sure.
Sir, can you help me with my flat tire?
Oh, those all work? Okay, what doesn't work? That's what I want to know.
Your legs must be tired because you've been running through my mind all day.
That's a tired line.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Baby, you look so good. Your name must be Angel.
Oh, must have worked with you.
Hey, got me.
Oh, my gosh! You guys are too much fun. Hey, listen, they can try those lines or not try those lines. When they go on their singles vacations, we're going to have those ideas coming up next live on Fox 5 Morning News. Stay with us. I promise there was nothing in that orange.
Don't even think about it. That is not on your grocery list. But Beth found...
Gourmet magazine has been chronicling the way folks live and eat since 1941. Now the September anniversary issue of the magazine is celebrating 60 years of gastronomic goodies with some original recipes from years past. Zan Stewart is the executive food editor of Gourmet. My friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I was amazed. You know, why would you start a magazine, not you, but why would they start a magazine in 1941? There was this little thing going on in Europe.
Oh, yes, the incident called the war.
Yes.
It was not the best time to start a magazine, certainly not an Epicurean magazine, but look at us, 60 years later.
Yeah?
You know, it worked.
Really?
And it actually, a lot of magazines dwell in the fantasy realm, and it was a good thing for people.
But Gourmet didn't when it started, right?
No, no, no. Gourmet was very, very rooted in what people in the world eat. And we still are.
Okay. So what was the criteria here when you were choosing recipes to include in this issue?
What tastes good. What still tastes good after 60 years.
And you tried to get foods that were representative of the time or were most popular at the time?
Both. Both. I mean, we wanted to be able to make certain statements, but we also wanted food that would translate into today's kitchen.
Okay. Make a statement about the 40s. Why'd you choose lobster thermidor?
Oh, boy. It's just one of those dishes. I remember my grandparents talking about it, and it was a war horse of the 40s.
Disappointed with the United States about that, aren't you?
Yes, because I believe that the world is really in need of compassion, and the world is really in need of voices that will come to the table with reason and lead people to a new level of thinking. And the United States, which dominates so much of the world order, I believe has a responsibility to lead the world to a new level of thought, or at least open up debate, so that new information can come into the discourse, so we may be able to shape policies that are a little bit richer than the policies we've been applying all along, that doesn't seem to be taking us out of the abyss of violence, killing, anger, rage, and I think we should be less arrogant about how we use our resources.
Obviously, delegates left with sort of instructions on how to improve the situation in their respective countries. But do you think that this conference will really have an impact on the average person in the world in terms of racism, intolerance, etc.?
Yes, I do. I believe it'll be a while before a lot of the resonance from this gets into the mainstream experience. But it's a beginning, and remarkable men and women from all over the world.
Let's go to Amanda Bergen in Skyfox for an update on that school bus accident in Southeast. Amanda.
Well, Lark, it's at Condon Terrace and 4th Street Southeast. We'll give you a look down below. The accident is still there. You can see the bus was T-boned by a car, a sedan. And as far as we can see, the children are no longer there. We can tell you that none of the children was taken to the hospital. Also, there was a bus attendant and a bus driver. They were not taken to the hospital either. We do know the 2 people in the car that actually hit the bus are refusing treatment at this time. Whether or not they were seriously injured, we do not yet know. But you can see here the bus appeared to have been going through the intersection when the car ran into the bus. It happened just before 8 o'clock this morning. The kids are DC students that were headed to Accotink Academy in Springfield, Virginia. They're DC special needs students that were headed to that academy. But again, Lark, none of the children was seriously injured as far as we know at this time. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much for that update. Michael?
Well, they began as 16 singles on a cruise ship headed for Aruba, but only one couple remains.
We made this with store-bought pasta, but this was when Americans discovered that Italian food didn't have to be just tomato sauce.
Yeah, didn't have to be spaghetti and meatballs. What are you drinking with it?
The Kier. It was, you know, it's a little bit, you know, lighter.
Yeah. A little foo-foo.
A little foo-foo, but it was the 70s.
What do we got here in the 80s?
Okay, we move on. Cheese. We're still in love. We're still in love with Italy, though. Porcini risotto. It's a beautiful rice dish, creamy, but no cream added. A little cheese at the end, and wonderful porcini mushrooms.
And the 90s?
The 90s. The wrap. We reinvented the sandwich using tortillas. Want to help me with it?
Go ahead. You're going
okay, now this is something.
I had one.
People
People always ask me, Whoopi, what's your favorite Entenmann's? Like I'm gonna tell them. If I said it was the ultimate crumb cake, they go flying off the shelf and there'd be none for me. So I'd never tell anybody what my favorite is. Ever. Entenmann's, what's your favorite?
Thomas's Bagels.
Thomas's makes bagels? Nobody makes a fresh bagel like Thomas's. Golden outside, perfect texture inside.
Thomas's makes a great bagel.
Thomas's Bagels.
Bring it in, fellas. There we go. Come on, hustle up now. Come on. There we go. Oh, there you go.
Mr. Pack, good morning. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
You say, I'm fine, thank you. You say this is a different perspective on Howard Hughes because the other books have been written based on stories told by people who knew him. You think this is his point of view. How could that be?
Well, I made the effort to try to get inside his mind. This is you know, he was America's first billionaire, and he was a famous film producer after all. He did, you'll recall, The Outlaw with Jane Russell, The Press.
It's 8:52 here in New York. I'm Bryant Gumbel. We understand that there has been a plane crash on the southern tip of Manhattan. You're looking at the World Trade Center. We understand that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft. We don't know if it was a private aircraft. We have no idea how many were on board or what the extent of the injuries are right now. We have, I understand, an eyewitness on the phone right now. Sir, what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Stuart.
Stuart, where are you right now?
I'm working at a restaurant in Soho.
All right, so tell us what you saw, if you would.
I was waiting at a table and I literally saw it seemed to be like a small plane. I just heard a couple noises. It looked like it bounced off the building, and then I just saw a huge ball of fire on top. And then the smoke seemed to simmer down, and it just a lot of smoke was coming out, and that's pretty much the extent of what I saw.
As Matt just mentioned, we have a breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center here in New York City. It happened just a few moments ago, apparently. We have very little info.
Every moment. Take me through again where you were, when this happened, what you saw.
I was serving tables at a restaurant, and I just heard sort of like a boom sound. It almost sounded like an earthquake sound, and I looked up and I saw literally something it might have even bounced off a little bit of a building, and next thing I know I saw a big ball of fire on the top of the building and just lots of smoke and what looked like to be debris or glass falling down. And it happened really quick. It's really hard to...
What was unbelievable was the amount of fire. It was a big ball of fire that just went up. And I looked around at people. We were all horrified. I'm stuttering because I'm in such shock. I've never seen anything like it. It's just horrible.
And of course, this is real cause for concern because the World Trade Center is one of the busiest office buildings here in New York with hundreds, perhaps thousands of workers
New York State Governor has his office, New York City office there.
And of course, given the time that this has happened, it's only probably appropriate to surmise that people might have been in the building.
And you know, we've seen stories in the past where planes have hit buildings, small planes, and it would be hard to imagine that a small plane could create that kind of hole in a building like the World Trade Center and create the damage on the other side of the building from the sheer impact. Small planes tend to crumple and then fall down the building. Again, we haven't talked to anyone who's close to the base of the building, so we don't know what kind of debris or wreckage. Yes, go ahead, Jennifer.
I'm sorry, I'm just talking to a police officer right here, and he says yes, he heard it was a plane.
Does he have any information about what kind of plane it was, or can he tell us any more details?
May I, I'm going to put you on hold for one moment, okay?
Just to recap, if you're just joining us, you're looking at dramatic pictures of New York's World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan, where a short time ago we are told that a plane crashed into the upper floors of the westernmost tower. You can see a gaping hole. That is on the north side of the building, and you can see residual damage on the west side of that building, and obviously fires are burning right now in the World Trade Center.
To one of the twin towers of the World Trade Center. You can see it now on the screen right there. And don't know what the intent was, whether it was deliberate or accidental, but there is a fire going on there. Bits of debris are falling down to the sidewalks below. It happened at 8:48, about 12 minutes ago. And so it's developing and will continue to develop all through the day.
And if you can see those bits of debris, they're large. If you can see it, it's large.
Yeah.
Because the World Trade Center is so immense, and you can clearly see things falling.
A lot of speculation whether or not it was an accident or maybe a suicide bomber. Not out of the question these days. So there it is.
There's another one. Another plane just hit. Right. Oh my God! Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it. Explosion. My God! It's right in the middle of the building.
This one into the East Tower.
Yes. Yes. Right in the middle of the building. And right now, that was definitely looked like it was on purpose.
You saw a plane?
Yes, I just saw a plane go into the building.
Why do you say that was definitely on purpose?
Because it just flew straight into it. It didn't look like it was, and it didn't look like a commercial jet. It was a smaller plane. It was definitely a smaller plane.
Can you characterize the scene down there right now for us?
Now, on the...
Yeah, as you can look down to the street?
Yes.
From your vantage point?
On the second building, I think that the further one, the east side, there it looks like it's about, I would say 15 floors lower than the first building, and there's now flames coming out of that building as well. They're both completely on fire.
I made it just inside, just in time. I was with the kids, and we, oh my gosh, something just
exploded. As a close-up view, I guess.
Something just exploded.
Maybe that plane had something in it. And there's phones going off.
Are we getting an explosion?
There was an explosion
inside?
there, huh? Yeah. Well, you can see the flames.
When something like this happens, it's such a mass destruction, you have to wonder about, of course, it looks like both buildings. That's both buildings. This is the next building.
Jumped over to the next building, huh? Fuselage exploded on the plane
and shot into the next building.
Leaped into the next building.
This is just the worst.
Yeah, just yesterday, the other day, we were talking about the job the New York City and every city's fire department has, and this is going to be a tough one because that's almost at the top of that building.
There are so many people in there.
And it would happen, right after the workday begins.
Right after the workday begins, yeah. But this is New York, so it.
Well,
everything starts earlier here.
We'll just have to continue here, but we will continuously bring you updates on
I just
that
feel
story.
sick to my stomach. I really do. I feel sick to my stomach for those people in there. It's just the worst thing I can imagine.
Time. What's going on, Julie? You want to go back to it? This is going to be the kind of a show where we'll have to keep going back and forth.
I guess it's being said that a second plane hit the other tower.
That sounds like deliberate to me. I mean, I hate to say anything on live TV. A third plane. Oh, yeah, this is really something. 3 planes. How many, Gilman? 2 or 3?
We don't know. Right now, that was a replay of the...
Yeah, that was a replay of the second one going into the other tower. Wow, I just can't believe what's happening here.
Why don't we go to commercial right now?
Why don't we go to a commercial break, regroup, and get the story straight, okay? We'll be right back in a moment.
Now, I'm just getting some information. We have an explanation for what happened there when we saw that second explosion, because the towers are far enough apart that you would think they were independent. We have 2 of our people responding to the area saying that they saw another aircraft crash into the other tower of the World Trade Center. I don't know at this point whether that would be a plane that was in the area, whether it would be a news helicopter or a police helicopter or something like that, but that's the word we're getting now, is that after all of this, after the mayhem going on at one World Trade Center, there was a second aircraft that crashed into the other World Trade